All right, let's do another Backyard Professor chess video. I had another win on level 4. Now, granted, I've had several losses tonight, but this win had some crazy pass pawns and a situation with a Rook endgame that I've never had before. And I thought, wow, that is bizarre. And so I want to show you this game. I'm playing the black again. I'm going to play it with the black up top. I hope I can remember the nuance of what I was doing. This is Stockfish level 4. And yes, I am playing people also. I'm playing 4 games right now, getting warmed up so that I can do some live chess eventually. We'll see how that goes. I'm gearing up. I do the King's Indian again because I'm trying to learn it. And the only way to learn an opening, of course, is to play it hundreds and hundreds of times, which is what I am in the process of doing. Strong center. And this is the theme, strong center for white. Let him have it. It's good. And I know this gets getting used to because, yeah. So letting the opponent have the strong center is unnerving to me personally. And now knight f6. And here we go. Bishop g5. Yeah. This is so typical of white to hit you with the bishop g5. Oh, whoops. And the queen and king are on the wrong squares. Yeah, I can't castle with the queen and the rook. So I'm going to cheat. Mid-game, I'm going to touch my pieces, and I'm only going to move this one. So I castle. Okay, here we go. So this is a so typical setup. Now he comes to the bishop d3, hitting the king side, of course. And now that all important. Now I've played a few. Where I do the c5 and I get trounced. I'll show you some of my losses as I'm trying to get better at playing chess. My wife told me something fascinating. I'm going to make a confession here, and I never imagined I would say this to my audience. But a month or two ago, I told her I'm gonna really seriously get good at chess, and she said, "Oh, well, you've told me that for years. You're all talk and no action." And that hit me to the core. So I'm done talking. I'm going to see what I'm capable of. I'm going to see what I'm made of, man. And I'm starting this year. I'm going to try to defy the chess odds. We'll see. We'll see. But so, yeah, that really took me back. And so here we go. E5. D will take. The E5 and D will take the e5. Now that pins the bishop to the queen. So he developed his bishop. So we don't have a quick exchange of queens. Some variations, that bishop isn't developed there. And then the queens are exchanged. In this instance, we've kept them. Very nice. Interestingly now, bishop comes to h4. And so I come to c6. Now, at this point, I'm thinking I need to get my pieces out. And this is one of the things. Oh, I just heard my heater get started. Hang on. I do this every time, man. I've got to keep remembering to turn my heater back up after I'm done videoing games because it gets cold here in the basement, right? But it's winter, so I've got to keep the heat up. So bishop h4, and I'm thinking pieces. I have to get my pieces out, especially in the King's Indian as black, when you let white take the strong center. If you make a couple of bad moves, or if you don't really bring out all your pieces, white will just steamroll you in the center. And this is what you have to be careful about. So we're more influencing the center from a distance, but man, you've got to influence the center, and that means get your pieces in the game. Don't mean to lecture, but that's the lecture. H3, He's going to prevent me from bringing mine to g4, my bishop, to pin the knight to the queen. He's limiting my bishop. And now here I say, okay, I will bring my bishop out though. Okay, my pieces are developed. Now for the heavy stuff, the rooks and the queen. Time to get serious. And instantly, okay, now here's what I noticed. He's already beginning, he's at least tinkering, right? Knight g5. I wouldn't say this is a full-fledged attack, but knight g5 is tinkering, and it is moving a piece twice in the beginning. Observe, you're not fully developed, and you're not castled. The opponent. That can be dangerous if I can speedily develop, finish my development. I will attack. That's what went through my head when I saw that. And you don't have to freak out if he comes to g5 and you say, oh, he's going to hurt my kingside pawn structure. He's going to take my light squared bishop, etc. Calm down. Just stay mellow. It's all good. He's moved a piece twice. That's not good in the opening. I've got my pieces developed, and now I'm going to ignore him coming to here, and I'm going to get my queen up and connect my rooks. I'm trying very hard to improve my chess, and that means I have to do it right. And now, knight back to f3. So my suspicion at level 4 is it gave me an extra move. The computer has to do something to keep it from absolutely crushing everybody all the time. It wants to be in different levels. So that was a random move. It kind of disappointed me in a way. I was hoping it would do something else. I wasn't threatening it, right? I wish it would have brought the knight out or whatever. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm going to show you this game for the past pawns that I got, which is I had a bizarre situation. Knight h5. Here I go. Knight h5. I am trying so hard to get him to push his pawns to create weaknesses, right? We'll see how well I do. Bishop c2. Bumps to c2. Knight to f4. And you say, you hypocrite, you are now moving your pieces all over the place. Yes, I am. So hypocrisy reigns in the BYP world of chess, but that's a screaming outpost, and I'm better developed. I am better developed, so I'm good. That's how I justify this. It's all good. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's good. This is history now. This is the game that was played. What a great outpost, right? Love outposts. I can't help it. I love outposts, especially night ones. Queen takes d6. Okay. Well, for Pete's sake, not the knight. Not my knight also. Queen takes d6, and then I took it with the c pawn. The reason I was accepting the exchange of the queens, right or wrong, I already did this. It gave me my central pawn back, right? Now, I'm better developed. So in justifying this queen exchange, I'm better developed. And now I really do have center pawns. I'm good to go. That was my thinking at this time. And now rook g1. Okay, so you know what he's going to try to do, right? Rook across from the king, and you say, yeah, a lot of stuff between them, irrelevant. I say that every chess video because in time, I have to move my king, right? That there's tactics galore coming toward the end of the middle game or end game. So you got to just keep that in mind. Now, here, I'm going to put my castled rook to work. And one of the best ways in the King's Indian, once you get the e5, if stuff in the center does not get changed out, and it didn't, then push that f. And I know Ben Feingold says never push F6 and all that. We're in the middle game now. It's okay. I'm going to gain more space. I'm going to activate my rook and I'm going to hit his pieces and drive him back. I'm better developed, so I'm attacking. This is my thinking, right? So this is why I did this. Knight A3. Okay, he's going to start bringing out more pieces. So what do? Okay, look, I pushed my F pawn. Now use it. Get rid of his central pawn. And you say, yeah, but that doubles your pawns in the center. And I truly wish I could remember the game I saw. It's in one of my books. Take me forever to find it. But one of the grandmasters played, and he had doubled central pawns, and he absolutely waltzed all over his opponent because those are not weak. Those are exquisite, powerful pawns, even though they're doubled, because I've got my rook to the side of them in the partial open file. That's the one thing that helps them become powerful. They're not just completely isolated, right? Now you can blockade them. And besides that, I hit the knight. Now I can move his knight. And that's what else I wanted to try to do. And again, he comes back up here to G5. So let's see what he's thinking. Now, at this point, I say, okay, I'm not going to just let him take the bishop. It is unprotected. So I'm going to react. Bishop F5, it's all good. G3, yes, I saw that coming too, because now he takes away my outpost. In the process, though, I have induced him to push another pawn, giving more weaknesses around the castled king, right? This is my thinking as I'm playing. So what do? In this instance, and I suppose you do this with the King's Indian defense. I've done it. And I believe in this game I did it too. I'm going to go for position. Not necessarily material, but I want position. So I came knight d3 check, right? And you're saying, oh my goodness, dude, you're giving it away. Just hold on, watch. I'm seeing something that I'm hoping will work. The bishop will take because I'm on this side of that pawn. And now, look what I did. I unmasked the double pawns on this file, and now I've got them on this file, but this one is so far advanced that it is very, very dangerous. And this one is supporting this one. My bishop is here. My knight is here, ready to come in anywhere along these areas, right? I have fantastic central control, as well as I possess it. Is that crazy? We saw him in the beginning of the game completely owning the center. I let him take it. That's what you do in the King's Indian, right? So I did. But now look at the turnaround. Why can I do this? Because he hasn't fully developed. And neither have I. But my pieces and pawns are better coordinated and more powerful. I've made less moves per piece. Actually, I've probably made more with that knight, but it served a purpose. It got me an exquisite passed pawn. That's my justification, right or wrong. That's what I did. Okay, knight b5. Here comes the knight. And, you know, I saw this. He's after this guy, right? Or this guy, if I decide, well, I want to protect that pawn, right? I move my rook, then I lose. Well, I don't, but I don't want to put my rook there. That's what I'm trying to tell myself. Knight b5. So ignore it. Here's the other issue. I'm going to take away his outpost on his knight, right? So h6, and now knight takes d6. Yeah, I knew he was going to do that. And he's hitting my bishop again. Notice I still have that bishop. I went ahead. Okay, now here we changed down enormously. And I'm trying to remember what I was thinking because this is skittywampus. I wish the black was down here. I could see it easier. I'm seeing ways to come in to attack his king and push the pawn. The one thing I'm seeing that I really need to do right now is protect this guy. That's a pass pawn. That is pure gold. How do you protect a pass pawn? Rooks belong behind pass pawns. So I know where I'm going to put one of my rooks. No question. Yes. But we begin an exchange. He gave me the knight in order for me to give him the bishop. And I struggled with this. I thought, man, that's a good bishop. It really is. And it was a double protecting the pass pawn. But I can get a rook in there. And now, G. He takes my other bishop. That's what I was thinking. I gave up both my bishops on purpose because it gave me an extra piece. I'm a piece up after this exchange. However, I sacrificed both my bishops in a relatively open board, which is either gutsy or stupid. In my case, it's probably stupid. Here was my justification, however, because I went ahead and took his bishop. And whoops. G takes h4, sorry. Then the knight took g7, and then I took the knight, and that's how I got the piece up. And then he shocked me. I was more worried about the exchange because I saw I was going to be up a piece, and he castled. And it flat blew me away. I forgot that he could castle. I was trying to open up the center to go after him, and he castled. And it shocked me. I said, oh, well, in that case, there's no question. I now have to protect that pass pawn, right? So I'm up a piece. He can't afford to take the pass pawn. Again, the beautiful power of the pass pawn is I get to reduce one of his rooks to defense, fundamentally so, right? Okay, that is one of the huge advantages to the pass pawn. Then he takes and he doubles on the H file, which is not going to be any danger at all with my G6 pawn. I'm not worried about that at all. And now I have this. Rook takes F2. I can infiltrate and take a pawn. And he can come up here to Rook G4. And I go ahead and push pawn check. I have a rook here, and I have a rook here. I'm going to get a queen with that pawn. The rook's not going to take the pawn. And it didn't. King came to C2. However, now what do I do? I've seen a cool little tactic, and this is what makes my next move. Rook E2. I'm going to bump my rook here, and I'm going to force an exchange. He'll have to take my rook, and then I'll take him, getting a queen. He loses a rook, I gain a queen. I develop from a rook to a queen, so it works out beautifully. He goes ahead and pushes h5, a nice little pin on my king, and I ignore it. Go ahead and let him take the pawn. It doesn't matter if he takes the pawn or with the rook. Realistically, the forcing move, taking my g-pawn with the rook, is a better move. I go ahead and push e4 because it dawns on me. If I move here, he doesn't have to take the rook. He can take my pawn. And then if I retake, he gets the pawn plus a rook, and I'm left with a rook, and I lose my passed pawn. So I've got another pawn here. I can go ahead and defend that pawn with a pawn, as well as have it protected from both directions. I'm bound to get in. And the way this thing played me was so spectacular. It just shocked me. And the rook takes g6. Check. King f7. Yep. Rook f1. Check. Now, here I started thinking, uh-oh, did I blow this? Did I make a mistake here? Because now what happens if he brings his rook to here? And then he's able to start stair step laddering me or take. Yeah, I didn't like this. I thought, oh crap, I might have blown it. And I went king e7, and then he went back to rook d1. Can't afford to let me have a queen because rooks belong behind passed pawns. It would just lose a rook for him. Went back to rook d1, and now e3. So I have my pawn protected in case I come to here and he tries to take my pawn. I can simply, I can bring my rook here now and find a way to checkmate him, flush him out, and then get my queen anyway. Either way, I'm happy with this. E3. H6. An escort with a rook. I do have the back file, but this is getting close. I know. You got to get a little nervous here. So what I did is I went to rook e1. Go ahead and drop the rook. Let's exchange the rooks. Exchange the rooks. He went rook g7, check. I'm thinking, is he going to flush me out up to here and checkmate me with pawns? I started to get panicky a little bit, and I thought, that is not good. I do not like this. And he went to rook f7, which confused me. I said, wait, what? Rook to f7. I've got his rook sealed off, though, so he's got to stay in the territory. He could have come and taken these pawns, right? That's what I was at least thinking. Well, you've got to get some material before I get the queen. I went to king c5. I panicked because if he starts bringing in these pawns, if he starts coming back down, I didn't think about this very carefully, and he went rook f1. Now, what in green tarnation, tomatoes, and ham do you do with that? I have never had this position, ever. And I'm going, man, if I blow this, I am going to be so mad. And if I take the rook, then he'll take the rook. And that doesn't help me because I bring my pawn down. Oh, well, that would have helped maybe. What did I do? Oh, yeah. Here's what I did. I said, above all else, I have this pawn protected. And I have the knight. In a worst case scenario, if I can't break that pawn in with my rooks, I can use my knight to help me put it in somehow, right? So I went ahead and pushed the pawn. I mean, come on. Who can resist a pawn fork on rooks, right? So I'm going to get my queen one way or the other. Am I not glad that I had two of these central pawns, and they are the D and E pawns, but I did exchange one off the F to bring it over to the E, and now I've got two passed pawns right there. That to me is bizarre. I've never had this. I almost can't even see how to calculate this. It's so weird. It's just funny. I broke out laughing when I finally saw that move. I said, wow, This is crazy. So he goes to Rook F5 check, and I'm thinking, oh man, I hope he doesn't get out of this. I came back. I was afraid he was going to come up to here and start checking me with the pawns. And once he starts doing that, then I'm in trouble. So I bumped back so I could not lose more tempo from those pawns. Now I'm feeling good. Now I can focus over here, right? Rook takes d2. And I knew this was going to happen. That's why I left that little pipsqueak there on e3 to protect my pawn. So if I take the rook, the king will take the rook. And then I have to move my rook away and I lose my pawn. So what do I do? What do I do? It was driving me nuts. And then it dawned on me. Wait. There is something here. The strongest move is a forcing move. So it's time to make a sacrifice. Right? Deflect the king away from the pawn. Check. And I thought, hot dang, I've got this. And the king has to take or move away, but you got to take the offering. And then I get my queen. And I've got my little lady. Where are you, dear? It's time to come back to work. I got my queen, check. King comes to c2, and queen takes d2 check, and I checkmated in just a few moves after this. So I wanted to share with you one more time. Now, I'm not... You know what I think I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to start showing you some of the games I'm losing as well, because those are almost more instructive than the games I win. Unfortunately, at this level, it's not my fault. I didn't make the computer this way. On level 4, there were a couple of questionable moves that appeared to me just to be extra moves to help give me a little bit of an advantage. It is level 4. I believe it's rated 1650 to 17, maybe 1750, depending on how long you let it think. This is a 15-minute plus 3-second increment game, so I'm not sure. You know, if I put it to an hour, it might be a lot stronger than that. But I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to get back into the groove, so to speak, after my layoff from chess. And so I'm doing 15 plus 3. That allows me to play quite a few games against the computer. And so that's one of my wins. And I just showed you a win I had yesterday. Now, at this point, for me to win on level 4 again is really, really very exciting for me, because I've been losing like crazy. Now, the interesting thing is, I played level 4 for 20 games or so, then went back to level 3 and absolutely crushed it. So it is working. I am getting better at level 4. And now, instead of beating level 3 half the time and losing to it half the time, I'm absolutely wiping the floor with it. So level 4 is helping me get stronger. I can't wait to play level 5. I actually did play a game of level 5 at noon today on my lunch hour, and I absolutely got smoked. So when I think I will start playing a few of my losing games also, just to show them to you. So anyway, there's a BYP win. I'm rambling now. Shut up and let us quit watching this video. So there you go, you guys. Thanks for all your support and encouragement. You said you liked some of my personal games and to hear my thinking. You like this board? I will do more electronic analysis as well, but I'm not giving up this board. I will use this board for the rest of my life with you, I promise. This board ain't going anywhere. We're going to do a lot more chess with this board. So, all right, you guys, this is me signing out. Hasta la vista, baby. I don't quite say it as good as Schwartzy, baby, but who cares? I'm the BYP, baby.